Yo, 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 what's that word? Third Tough in the Podcast, episode 84. It's a little rust around the edges. You know, we just starting up on another platform, seeing where we go from here. How you doing tonight, my boy?
Good, good, chilling.
So as we start off with every episode, we're going to do the Reddit warm-up. Tonight, man, I saw this post, and it made me think, and I wanted to ask you. It was saying, as a minority, as a fellow minority with the new old president now back in place, what's your outlook for, in the present time? Like, what's your thoughts?
Bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't be really here looking crazy, but I don't really be like into stuff like that. If it makes sense, just cause I'm not gonna be one to debate something that I don't really know about, that I haven't done research on, that I haven't looked into. So I tell my girl like I tell everybody else, that man not affecting my money, he not affecting my place to stay, he's not doing nothing to affect me. I really don't care for him. Or I don't care against him. But I do know, like where I stay right now, there's ice all over. Like, Palm Beach Boulevard. You know how Palm Beach Boulevard is.
Yeah.
There's ice up and down there, stuff like that. So obviously, there's going to be another 4 years of hell for most people and people that actually look into stuff like this. But I honestly don't think, besides like the racist stuff, which we all know do racist and stuff, I don't really think he could do anything worse than Joe Biden, because I don't really think Joe Biden really did anything to help us either during his presidency term. And honestly, it's 4 years, get through these 4 years, he can never run for president again. That's how I look at it.
Okay. I'm gonna say I'm gonna see what comes of it. His re-election just let me know like that he has this figured out. Like, he has it figured out as far as like how easily people can be manipulated and stuff. I saw a lot of people I got love and respect for, still got love and respect for, like going crazy about him, and I'm just like y'all don't remember 2016 through 2020? Like, this is y'all don't remember? Just put some bleach in you? Like, am I the only one that remember that? Y'all don't remember all that stuff that was happening? Like, it was crazy times. But at the end of the day, like you said, I don't think President Biden was doing anything either, man. Once I saw the price of some eggs at fellow fathers, how much that is spending on that food, it's insane right now. Like, just buying food is crazy right now, and it's been crazy. But at the end of the day, if he can affect it in a positive way somewhere there, then I think that'll be real, real dope. Like you said, that's the same thing I said too. 4 years, it's a long time, but it's also a short time. You know what I mean? And hopefully, by all praise due the Most High, that he make it through his term. Like, people like to talk about Joe, about his age and stuff. That man ain't much younger, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully, he's straight, and he do a good job. At the end of the day, we all got to live here, so it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. So it is what it is, though. But let us know what y'all think in the comments, or don't. If you're gonna be super trolling, super crazy, or sometimes it's best to leave them thoughts to yourself. But it is what it is. Without further ado, get into the episode here. What we got?
I'm going to take over from here. First thing we're going to talk about is NFL action. Go ahead and just give our thoughts about how the divisional round played off. First game up, we'll go Texans and Chiefs. Chiefs won that one 23-14. How we feeling about that one?
I felt like I expected the Chiefs to win. I think most people expected the Chiefs to win. Game played out how I thought it would play out. Again, I think the Houston Texans would have had a much better opportunity. I think they would have won this game if they would have had all their weapons. And we'll talk about probably that more as we talk about the later games. I think the Chiefs look a little vulnerable, but I didn't like a lot of sentiment coming out of the game, which was a talking point that's been talked about the whole year, which was basically the Chiefs cheating with the refs and stuff. A lot of that stuff used to get said about the Patriots like that, and we know them boys will cheat. We done Spygate and a couple Deflate Gate, and a few other instances. Maybe that is the situation, but I just think it's on your organization to build yourself up to the point where if you feel like there's a conspiracy about the refs, that you're able to be the fan base that gets the benefit from that. And that comes from sustained excellence, drafting well, signing key free agents, having good front office organization and stuff like that. But to the game, I think it was a good game. It played how I expected. Joe Mixon was nice in the game. Y'all know Sabrina, my dog, love to eat. Soon as we start this every time. But I don't know why she chooses to do that. But what's your thoughts on the game?
I'm just looking at the Chiefs' schedule right now, and like
Mm-hmm.
the games that they've won, these haven't been convincing wins.
Mm-hmm.
The only win that was kind of convincing was when they beat the Steelers 29-10. Everything else, it's just, they beat a Browns team 21-7, a depleted Browns team, I should say.
Yeah.
They didn't know what direction they were going at the time. I didn't expect the Texans to win, but I did expect it to be close, like within a 10-point game, which it was.
Right.
I do think there were times where the Texans didn't get the right end of the call. For instance, I think it was Will Anderson got like a roughing the passer call, or it was a one roughing the passer call where the two Texan defensive players hit each other and they didn't even hit Patrick Mahomes. So I kind of see how that played out. Wasn't really impressed with Patrick Mahomes this game.
Yeah.
The only thing that really impressed me was the Chiefs' defense. I mean, like you said, Texans don't really have all their weapons, but the Chiefs' defense held on to 14 points, which obviously was enough to get the win.
Yeah.
Like I told you before, I think you got to score at least 30 points to beat the Bills this year. And the way the Chiefs are looking on offense, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned something that I saw as well, which was that I believe a late hit call where the two defenders hit each other, then Patrick Mahomes. As a former defensive player, I hate that. Not truly don't understand how he can give him up, and a lot of quarterbacks do this. They
And
can
he
get him
slid
up.
late too.
Is exactly what I was about to say. Like you can't. You jugging, in my opinion, that's kind of like flopping. That's kind of what they was trying to penalize Trey Young, James Harden, Steve Nash back in the day for doing. Like you're trying to manipulate the rules. You're not playing within the rules, and then a natural foul occur. You're trying to juke the rules. And personally, I'm not with that. I don't think that's fair to the defensive players, or to your own teammates. But at the end of the day, they did what they did to get the win for sure.
Did you just see that pop up on my screen?
I did. I don't know what it is. I saw it late.
But moving on to the next game. So it was another Saturday game. We got Commanders Lions. Proved to be a big upset, someone that I did not see coming. Commanders won that one 45-31. How you feel about that one?
Great game. That was a great game. I ultimately think it came down to injuries. Jared Goff got hurt early on, and then they also missed the call on the pick they threw. But at the end of the day, you throw a pick, it is what it is when you're trying to make that tackle afterwards. Commanders came to play. Jaden Daniels, he's really blossomed throughout this season, but especially in this playoffs, I think he's playing his best football right now. I honestly think he looks like the best quarterback in the playoffs so far to this point. Terry McLaurin making great plays. And of course, like you said, Lions was a great team all season. Both of their coordinators are now head coaches, and they lost a couple other staffers off that team to other organizations. So great to see the Commanders come away to win. Defense stepped up to play. Big challenge coming up this week, but I think, with a couple veterans like Bobby Wagner on that defense, Deron Payne, a couple other guys on the defensive side of the ball, Marshawn Lattimore, if he's finally back, you're getting healthier every week, I suspect. And Jaden Daniels in the offense, they're cooking right now. So, I'm impressed with them. On the Lions side, I think it's tough for them. I think they would have been favored all the way, probably were to win the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. So I know it's a tough year for them, but ultimately it's also a great year for them. Each year they're getting better and better. It's going to be tough without those coordinators, in my opinion. But they did have a lot of people on injured reserve this year, and they still made it as far as they did. So great game, and I think they'll come back strong next year.
For sure. My opinion, what the Lions honestly were missing on defense was Aiden Hutchinson. They was missing somebody that could actually that had the quickness and the athleticism to go after and get Jaden Daniels. I've seen a few times in that game that there was some D linemen able to get in the backfield, but they just weren't able to bring him down. And that was even in the Buccaneers game. There's just not many D linemen that can chase that are athletic that can chase down and get down Jaden Daniels. But it was really just an offensive show. I think both offenses had about, I want to say, almost 450, 500 yards apiece.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. No defense. Besides, Mr. 239, Quan Martin, pick six.
for sure, for sure.
Which, I'm happy for him. Commanders, I'm a Giants fan. So, I'm not really happy about having to pick and choose between the championship game this week.
Yeah,
But the Commanders surprised me. They've been surprising me all season.
for
I
sure.
don't know why I expected the Lions to win this game by double digits.
Mhm.
Like you said, especially, I believe the Commanders, since playoffs have begun, they've been a hard team to stop on offense. They have a high power offense. Terry McLaurin, like you said, making them deep plays. Kias, another good receiver that, he showed out. Diami Brown's been showing out. And then
Yeah,
he has his safety blanket and, the reemergence of Zach Ertz, who's looking
yeah,
like an elite tight end again. Honestly, it's going to be a game. NFC Championship is going to be.
for sure. Now, real quick before we move on, how do you feel about the Lions, the two jobs their coordinators got real quick?
Well, I know Ben Johnson's taking some of them Lions coaches with him. I think he was taking like Antoine Randall L, JT Barrett. So, those are going to be big pieces. It's not just they're losing him, they're losing a couple other big pieces too. And then just on the offensive defensive end, they're going to have the firepower next year. It's all about just who they get, who's next in line to try, to lead this team. Honestly, the blueprint's there for how to run this Lions offense. I mean, you
Yeah,
have the most electric backfield probably in the NFL, two-man backfield with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
yeah,
You got a emerging wide receiver in Jameson Williams. You have St. Brown, which St. Brown's a top receiver in the league. Good
yeah,
route runner, good hands, and then you have Sam Laporta, who's making his way up the ladders as
yeah,
one of the great tight ends in the league as well. On top of having one of the best O lines in the league, so
yeah.
I think they'll be fine.
I mean, from my end, Ben Johnson, I think he picked up the best job of the offseason. I think that's the best available job on the market. You got a young quarterback, young team, good ass defense, and you got a good offensive line. I think they're gonna get better throughout the draft. You got good receivers. You got all the pieces there for a creative coach to maximize. Plus, I hear they're picking up Dennis Allen, former head coach of the Saints, who got let go. But maybe he'll do better than just being a coordinator. But the other job, the main reason why I asked too was Aaron Glenn became head coach of the New York Jets. Um,
Better
I
than
like
Rex
him as
Ryan.
a coach. What happened?
Better than Rex Ryan.
Yeah, better, definitely a better hire than Rex Ryan. When that happened, I don't know if we were serious or not. But it isn't what I wanted. I wanted I wanted an offensive minded head coach. We always pick the same archetype. Like out of the past five head coaches, out of the last six head coaches, five of them are the same archetype, which is first time head coaches mainly focus on the defensive side of the ball. Other than that, it was Adam Gase. That wasn't great, but I wanted us to go back to that well. I get where they were coming from because we got a strong defense. We just got to figure out what we need to do at quarterback. There's a lot more stuff to go on with the Jets, but I do think he's a leader of men, former Pro Bowler for the Jets. So that's always great to have somebody that performed at the highest level back in your organization. Going to be a big mentor, in my opinion, figure to Sauce Gardner. And hopefully he can bring some of those Lion guys over there. I know he's bringing the D-line coach with him to, help out our defensive line. We need help on the D-line. Even though we have some names, there's still some key parts there that allowed us to get savaged against the run and things of that nature. But not to make it about the Jets, I like the hire. But again, I'm gonna have to be shown and see what we do at quarterback going forward. That was a big thing for Aaron Rodgers. He was saying the GM and the head coach is going to be the deciding factor whether he stays or goes. But y'all know how I feel. I don't think it should be a choice. I don't want to see him back there next year personally, to be honest. So I like Aaron Glenn. We'll see how it goes.
All right, next matchup. This is the episode I picked the Rams to upset the Eagles. It's just the Rams and the Eagles. I can go first with this one. Eagles wound up winning 28-22 in a snow game. Um, Honestly, plain and simple in my eyes, the Rams let this one get away from them. They had two opportunities to go down, and I think either tie the game or take the lead. And not including the last one, where I think it was Matt Stafford fumbled and Kyron Williams fumbled. I think those two things are really the deciding factor there. Saquon, I didn't expect him to do anything that he did do, or I didn't expect anything less from him. But as far as that, let me check really quick just to make sure. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, passing game really wasn't there. You held Devontae Smith and AJ Brown to 6 receptions, under 40 yards. Close game. I expect it to be close. Um, I think it also just kind of shows the holes that the Eagles do have. Because honestly, if they didn't have Saquon, they were dead in the water. And I don't know if it's going to be snowing or not, how the game's going to play out this week. But it's going to be the same thing. And now you also have to deal with Jaden Daniels coming in as a versatile quarterback. But, I like the way the Eagles defense played, especially Jalen Carter. He's turned out to be a freak, men amongst boys. And, just that D-line's coming together. Well, I think Brandon Graham wound up retiring, no Fletcher Cox. And even the O-line's holding up good still, obviously. You see what Saquon's doing, which that was a big concern, who was going to be playing center for them after Jason Kelsey retired. All in all, like I said, I think the Rams let this one get away from them.
Yeah, as I was watching Matthew Stafford drive down the field, honestly thought he was going to win. That's what Matthew Stafford known for doing. Just erratic throw, got away from him. That last pass wasn't accurate. Again, he put them in a position to do what they were doing. With about 4 minutes left, I think Saquon had a long touchdown by 60 yards, and I thought the game was over. But I kept watching. I kept watching the game. They end up scoring, getting the ball back, and now you down 6 with, honestly, one of the best fourth quarter comeback quarterbacks of all time, which is dangerous. No matter how much you believe in your defense, that's dangerous when you got somebody with that much experience in those situations. Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. They ended up pulling out the dub. Saquon, in my opinion, is the best offensive weapon in the NFL. As far as pass catching, of course, running the ball, being a decoy, to me, he's the most dangerous offensive weapon in the NFL. He's around a good offensive line. Of course, I love seeing my Florida State boys stand out with verse and fist. Verse dominant player. I think he's going to be defensive rookie of the year. I think it's going to be well deserved for him. But at the same time, the Rams, they had a good game plan coming in. They executed it well. I think they actually played above their heads this year, above their talent level. I think the Rams, they got one of, in my opinion, a top 3 NFL coach in the league. And I think as they continue their rebuild and add in talent, of course, you're going to want Stafford to come back and things of that nature. But I think they're going to have a strong season next year as well. And they're going to be one of the probably top 10 to win the Super Bowl coming in to the season next year as well. But shout out to the Rams.
Definitely. That young defense up and coming. Definitely. Next up, we got what to me was probably the playoff game of the week. Ravens and Bills. Bills pulled that one out 27-25. How we feeling about that?
Ravens and Bills. That was a great game. Who I thought was going to win did not win. I thought the Ravens was going to win that. I guess if you consider 10 points comfortably, then comfortably, and I was wrong. Honestly, if y'all follow us on social media, which is 32 Innings on all our social media, 32 Inning Podcast, I posted a picture of James Harden inside a Lamar Jackson uniform. That's because, honestly, man, we both Florida guys, been in Florida for a long time. I root for Lamar, man. And in the playoffs, he just hasn't shown up. To be quite frank about it, he hasn't shown up. Those 2 turnovers were critical in the game. Honestly, I think they were the deciding factor more than the infamous drop at the end of the game. But at the end of the day, Josh Allen played really well. The Bills' defense played above their heads, but they've been playing decently good to, good all season. So they're doing what they need to do. Josh Allen, they're going to score a lot of points. That offense is really unstoppable. So it didn't play how I expected to. I hope Lamar and the guys and Derrick Henry come back strong next year, but I think this was honestly their best chance to win a Super Bowl. So it's definitely disappointing as a Lamar fan, but I do think he's going to come back, have a good regular season, and we'll see if he wins another MVP, a third MVP. But you know, this was a year. I hope they get him some receivers. Zay Flowers is good, but you need somebody else to help him out over there, as we saw when Zay got hurt. And I thought that would be Deontay Thompson, but as we can see, that boy been on by 5 teams this year. So for sure.
Yeah, nah, man. I don't know what to say about the Ravens anymore. I'm a Giants fan first, but I'm a Ravens fan second. Lamar's my favorite player in the league. Literally every fantasy draft I can, I make sure to draft him. I don't know, man. Like you were saying, a lot of people are blaming Mark Andrews and everything, but at the end of the day, if those two turnovers don't happen, that team's not in that position where they even need to go for two.
Yeah.
Because I believe that the Bills got points on both of those turnovers.
Yeah.
And I feel like we see it the same every year in the playoffs. The Ravens try to wait last minute to kind of, try to finally break through, get the game closed, get that go ahead, touchdown, tie the game up, something along those lines. Happens every year.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Um, like you said, it's just something about playoffs where Lamar Jackson doesn't really perform like how he does during the regular season. This probably was their best year, especially with the struggles of the Chiefs. Come back better next year. Said hopefully it's next year. I know hopefully he has one in him. I'm hoping.
I think he does, and even so, like how I mentioned talked about the Jets, like Todd Monken. I'm super surprised he didn't get a head coaching job this year. I think he was his offense was number one in both passing average, like average yards per play and average rush yards per play. I think he was first in both those categories. Maybe it was out of him and Ben Johnson. But regardless, I thought he would be in serious play for a job like the Raiders, who they hired their coach, and it is what it is. A veteran coach, very veteran, very mature. But at the
Just
end of the
came out
day,
of nowhere to me.
for sure, I think they're missed on their targets, and they was like, you know what, this is the next best option. Keeping the main thing, though. Yeah, man, it is what it is. We'll see how it is for James Harden and the Ravens next year in the playoffs.
Real quick. I know you peeped how Liam Cohen did the Bucks.
Oh yeah, I can't be mad. I'm in Jacksonville. Like I liked him as a candidate. I thought he'd been a good candidate for the Ravens or the Jets. I thought he was a great candidate as well. Even though he's only been in the NFL for I believe maybe 1 year, I think, as an OC or two. I think he was with the Rams. But regardless, yeah. Hey, I like the hire for the Jags, man. As a Jacksonville native, I love that hire for the Jags, man. I think that's what they needed. And at this point, Trevor got no excuses. Yeah, no excuses at this point.
But now, let's head over to the conference championships. NFC Conference Championship, Commanders, Eagles. Your prediction on that?
Commanders, Eagles. Commanders, Eagles. I think it's gonna be a good game, good nice back and forth game. But I do have the Eagles pulling out the dub. Is it at home? The Eagles at home?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like the Eagles at home. I think that's one of the toughest stadiums to play in the NFL. I think Saquon is on a heater. James Daniels is definitely on a heater. Both of them are on heaters. But I think that if Jalen Hurts is getting back more and more healthy, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Goddard at tight end, that offensive line, I think they're high powered on both sides of the ball. I think right now, man, the Eagles might be my favorite since Detroit got eliminated. I think the Eagles, not my Eagles, I think the Eagles are going to be the favorite to win the Super Bowl for me right now from what I've seen. So I got the Eagles. I wonder what that money line is, but I got the Eagles in this one.
It's pretty much Eagles by a touchdown, you could say.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Commanders have been on the road all playoffs. They performed all playoffs. No Tampa Bay is not no pushover stadium to play in. Definitely know how they rock in Detroit. Like I said, I don't know if it's a snow game or not. I don't know how much of a factor that's going to have.
I would think it would be a snow game.
So
Yeah.
For the snow game, I don't like not Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Eagles passing game, I don't trust in that in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think the Commanders' offense is firing on all cylinders, snow or not. I'm going with an upset. I'm taking the Commanders. I know the NFL probably don't want to see the Commanders in the Super Bowl, but I know the people of Lee County do for specific reasons.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going with the Commanders, man. They've shown me a lot. I've doubted them so much throughout this. Well, not doubted, but they've surprised me so much throughout this year. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they're going to surprise me with this one. I think they get the upset.
I feel you. I respect it.
And then we got the Bills and the Chiefs. I'll go first on this one. Tired of seeing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I hope the NFL don't do this shit again. Even with that being said, Chiefs are playing at home.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Bills. I don't care. Josh Allen, and that Bills offense is just electric. There's not anything that they can't do. And then they had an off game. They didn't score 30 points against the Ravens, so I feel like this is kind of going to be like a little bounce back game for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no way to game plan for Josh Allen because there's just so many ways that he can beat you. Bills have a great running game. James Cook's up and coming. And then they have young receivers. They haven't even been using Amari Cooper like that, which that speaks volumes. Have two reliable tight ends in Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. And like I said, I just don't really trust the Chiefs offense right now. They've looked out of sorts this playoffs. They haven't really been anything really great coming from the offense in the playoffs, honestly. They have a few good drives here and there, and then it's just not the same Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes that we're used to seeing from past years. And they just don't have that. Even with DeAndre Hopkins, I hate to say it, but they just don't have that guy that they can get the ball to and he's going to make a play every time at this point. And their run game hasn't really been anything of any sorts as well.
Yeah, but Checo been losing me money all playoffs. I can't go against the evil empire right now, honestly. I don't have a personal issue with Josh Allen or anything like that. He's had a great season. Probably gonna win the MVP if it's not Lamar. They've been playing strong all year long, but I just can't go against the evil empire. People are already saying the damn refs is for them boys. The refs, I believe, is for them boys. I believe the NFL is for them boys, to be quite honest with you. Um, we've never seen a three-peat before. I think just that motivation to do something that's never been done in a league that's been around for a very, very, very long time, I think it's going to be extremely high. It is extremely high. It's at KC. That crowd is going to be rambunctious. You know, I love hearing a good war chant. But at the end of the day, I can't go against right now the evil empire. I think it's going to be a close game, but right now I'm gonna ride with the Chiefs as the safe play to pull out that dub at home. I think Patrick Mahomes gonna have a good game. I think this might be a chance for. I gotta see what his numbers are on the bets for Xavier Worthy to make an impact on this game. I think he might be that guy that, you know, can touch the ball and really make something happen, because obviously they're going to focus in on Travis Kelce. And despite it not going as well so far in the playoffs, I think the Bills are going to focus on stopping that run game as well. So it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to have to be a receiver that's going to have to be the star of this show as you try to stop the intermediate routes from Travis Kelce, which is not an easy thing to do in that run game. I think the Chiefs are going to try to establish the run, even though I don't think they have a great offensive line. They're aided by things outside of the players. So right now, I'm going to go with the Chiefs to pull out that dub.
Man, Taylor Swift there, it might be GG's. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. But moving on, next topic, we had the national championship game Monday between Notre Dame and Ohio State. Congrats to Ohio State. You know, in most people's eyes, I'd say it makes up for the Michigan loss. But in Ohio State and Michigan fan eyes, I don't know. But like I said, congrats on the national championship. Well deserved. Really proved that they were the best team throughout the playoffs. Other than that, what were your thoughts on it?
I think it played out how, unfortunately, it seemed like it was going to play out. Notre Dame wasn't explosive on offense this year. They were consistent. You know, they got talent. They wear you down. That's been Notre Dame's staple for decades now. That's what they do. I think it just showed a bigger philosophy, which was the reason why I'm hesitant to say it is because it's tough for me as a fan of a team that I don't believe is going to be able to get to that level in the current climate. And that's recruiting wise, people that have the most money, that are able to acquire the most talent. It's been like that since the inception of college football, since any level of football. But at the end of the day, you know, when you have these universities that's been around for over 100 years at this point, they have alumni and donor bases that are filthy rich. And they're able to give that money and they're able to go get the best players. You know, Jeremiah Smith is reported to have a $4.5 million offer from somebody, Miami. And there was Carnell Tate is another player that has over $1 million offer right after they win the national championship. So, by the way, I'm a Florida State fan. Hopefully we scheme it up and we recruit well, but you know, when you facing off people that got money like Michigan, like Ohio State, that's why I think personally, and I'm not gonna go off on a tangent. We're gonna get back to the game, but Michigan, Ohio State, those types of teams, the Big Ten that have these rich donor bases, a lot of those universities specialize in education, where a lot of money is, law school, all that type of stuff. When those guys are coming back and donating, don't be surprised when you see those teams still at the top. Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan just paid a quarterback $9.5 million out of high school, then went and got a transfer to play before him, so he had time to redshirt after having a five-star quarterback in Jaden Davis the year before, and that's at one position. So that lets you know that the rest of their team, how stocked they is in general. But back to the main game, I did want to see a black head coach win a natty for the first time ever. I think Notre Dame gonna come back strong if they don't lose too many people in the portal game. They had a chance to make it something towards the last 5 minutes of the game. You know, Notre Dame didn't capitalize. In Ohio State, they clamped down on defense. After honestly, they got comfortable after the rally, not the rally, but the tsunami they put on Notre Dame in the beginning stages of the game. But ultimately, I think it was a good game. I think it could have been promoted way better. I don't think it should have been played on a Monday. I think college football is a Saturday type day, but I get it, NFL playoffs. But I just think it could have been promoted way better because at this point, I don't think many people outside of those fan bases and diehard fans really tuned into the game as they should have. So, yeah.
For sure. Said it was a good game to watch, entertaining. I did think Ohio State was just going to run over them at one point, and that's just as the game started going on. But you know, Notre Dame kept it in. I think it was like a one-score game. I think they wound up losing by, which I think most people expected them to get blown out. But I wasn't one of them. I wanted a close game. I know Notre Dame can match physicality of most teams, but I just think that Ohio State's on another level when it comes to being able to be physical over a whole four-quarter game. Like you said, they bring in the best athletes. I'm pretty sure they have the best of the best when it comes to everything. Yeah. So these boys came in prepared. They did enough to get that national championship. What it came down to me, honestly, like you said, Notre Dame's been consistent all year. But when you're down in the game and you don't have that big play threat, or you're not able to air the ball out like, Ohio State can. Notre Dame's more of a run-based physical team, try to grind it out within the hash marks. When you're trying to play from behind all game, it's just most of the time not going to work out for you. Like I said, them boys fought hard. I'm very well coached. I know they're probably going to be right back in the college football playoffs next year. Good game. Salute to both teams. Congrats to Ohio State.
Let me ask you something, because it came to mind, and y'all let us know if y'all want us to do an individual video from the channel on this topic, but I'm going to make it real quick. I'm just going to ask, bro, actually. Do you think that this Ohio State team could beat any professional team, like NFL team?
The bottom half team.
Let's say the Jaguars. No, let's say the Raiders. Raiders, Jaguars, that type of...
I'm not going to say necessarily they can beat them. I'm going to say I don't think they'll get blown out. But then again, they're playing grown men. Grown men and playing in college is completely different. Honestly, no, I don't think. Like I said, I don't think they'd beat them. I think they might be able to hang around. Cover the spread, maybe plus 17.5, plus 14.5, something like that. NFL is a different breed. It's not college. College, you have receivers getting off breaks, just streaks, quarterback throwing passes, stuff like that. That happens in the NFL, but like I said, it's more physical. These are grown men that have been playing the game, and that's a different type of physicality from the college level as well. So I
Yeah,
think that starts kind of wear on them as well. So I
yeah,
don't think they could beat an NFL team. I don't even like even the worst NFL team, which is what the freaking Titans. I
yeah.
don't think
Yeah,
they could.
honestly, my answer to that, I think years ago and to this point, probably still be fuck no. But I think when you have a team like Ohio State, that damn near every player on that team, not damn near every player, but I would say it's about 50-50. Each player on that team is going pro. It's damn near like a pro team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And some of those rookies are going to be more talented than anybody on the Titans. Even though, again, that's, potentially, ranking shows the worst NFL team. You got all pro level players like Jeffrey Simmons on the D line and, things of that nature that would be the best players in college. So, it is what it is. Interesting concept. Let us know if y'all want to talk about that in a separate video.
yeah, kind of. I'm thinking about it, like you said. Fuck no.
Yeah,
I just like I said, I think they might be able to hang around with some teams for a while, but other than that,
yeah,
that
yeah. They probably,
physicality and everything is too much.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Especially, you got what 18-year-old, 19-year-olds on the O line, D line going up against dudes that are 27, 28 that have been working out for years. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure you know as well as I do. Grown man strength is a thing.
yeah.
I don't see it.
I feel you. And NFL, even though it's the worst team, to get to the pros, you're the best player in your team, in your conference, in the nation, at your position.
Yeah,
Just to go pro. Again, with more research, I think we could put together a compelling, not even argument, just an interesting concept that I think people will gravitate toward. Yeah, right now I'm gonna still say no, but I appreciate your input on it.
yep. And then last topic of the night, I'm just gonna go NBA. We got some trade rumors that have been going on, everything like that. Just how are you feeling about some of the names you're hearing mentioning in trades for specific teams? I know Jimmy Butler's name's been circulating around the Suns. Zach LaVine might be someone the Suns go after. So I see what we posted on our socials. Anthony Davis is looking for wanting the Lakers to go get a big man. Jonas Valanciunas is probably on the block. I know Bobby Portis and Chris Middleton have been. Bucks are open to hear an offer for them. Cam Johnson coming over from the Nets, things of that nature. How are you feeling about those?
I think those are all interesting. Obviously, I root for the success of LeBron, so obviously I monitor the Lakers. Like bro said, go check out our videos on the social media platforms. AD mentioned, and it wasn't just AD. It was an article that AD and LeBron believe that they're starting to worry that the Lakers aren't willing to trade everything they need to bring in sufficient help. And shortly after that, about 5 hours ago today, Fridays, was a report that the Lakers are reluctant to trade both of those picks to the unprotected status, which honestly I kind of understand, but I kind of don't respect it because if you can go out and get a player like Walker Kessler, who's not an All-Star player, not an All NBA type player, but he's a double player. I think he can do very well next to AD. If AD is your future after LeBron, he's making it known what he wants in order for y'all to be successful right now and post LeBron. Because Walker Kessler is a player that's 23 years old. I think he's gonna be as good as potentially any players you can get with those draft picks. Is you still expect to be the Lakers at that point, which is not building through the draft, but ultimately grabbing star free agents and going on from there and having winning seasons like that. If you keep that organizational philosophy. As far as Jimmy Butler, just got suspended again for missing a flight, I believe. That's just a man that don't give no fuck. And a part of me really respect it to live your life like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's bad for the locker room, though. They got to go. He got to
Yeah,
go. They got to
yeah.
quick.
But Jimmy does this everywhere he goes, so it's like at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think because Cam and Mace mentioned this on their show, it is what it is, which I'm a huge fan of. They mentioned about the reasons why he might be acting in this manner. I do think it got a lot to do with money. I think their take was a bit different than what I see it as far as like they gave you a contract. Because at the end of the day, these NBA players and their agents are looking at it more of a long term thing. Like y'all, he feels like y'all should have been paid me. I led y'all to two NBA finals. Obviously, we don't got the talent to compete. Because honestly, if you look at what the Heat have brung in over the past 5 years, it's nothing to write home about. To be all the way 100. It's a good role player base, but they look like they're about a piece or two away from winning an NBA championship. That's with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. So at the end of the day, I think he wants to go to a situation that's ready made in his eyes to win a championship with KD and the Phoenix Suns. There is no way in the fuck I can believe that the Bucks are willing to take back Bradley Beal for Chris Middleton. Or I don't. Bradley Beal is, for his money, including no trade clause and what he brings on the court, he's one of the worst players in the league. I really hate to say it. I really hate to say it. I think it's just nostalgia based to bring him on over there. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much hitting on pretty much all of the trade rumors and things of that nature. Oh, Cam Johnson, wherever he goes, he's going to fit in. He reminds me a lot of his former teammate, Michael Bridges. I think he's going to be a great value to a team. Hopefully, in my opinion, I hope he goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Somehow they're able to make that work. And with him, I think he'll be a great piece to help them match up with the Celtics in the playoffs, because I think that's what the Nets. I think it's going to be the Celtics, Knicks, and the Nets. Celtics, Knicks, and the Cavaliers that are going to determine the Eastern Conference this year. Not to disclude the Bucks. We'll have to see what they get on the trade market. If they get Bradley Beal, they're instantly out of there for me. But yeah, definitely.
No. For Bradley Beal to be the only NBA player with a no trade clause, like you said, I honestly think when he's on the court playing with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, which I don't know how much he does that because I haven't really been watching the games since he started coming off the bench. But he's just, I'm not going to say he's washed or he sucks because he's in the league, but he just doesn't fit in with the Suns. You know, the Suns took all this money from him. I don't know if they are the ones that gave him the extension or they took over the money
Yeah,
from the extension. But it's just one of those things where you put this time and money into a player, and I don't think he's doing much. I think he's doing worse for the team than he is doing good at this point. And I feel like the Suns would be in a better predicament, if for some way they were able to, get Bobby Portis and Chris Middleton.
yeah,
For Bradley Beal and Nurkic, because Nurkic isn't playing right now. He wants to go. Kind of just offloading the negative and bringing in some positive. Because Chris Middleton's a great player. Even with all his injuries, he's going to come in and give you everything you need. Bobby Portis is a great rebounder, great scorer, good defensive presence as well. And then you have rumors of Zach LaVine, which there's rumors every freaking year about Zach LaVine. It's just really, when is it finally going to happen? I don't know why the Lakers aren't trying to bring in some more pieces, because I just feel like after LeBron goes, even with Anthony Davis, I don't know if it's going to be enough for them to be able to compete for a championship.
yeah,
I feel like it's win now for them and then just, deal with the rebuild. And this might be probably the best chance they have or going to have in a while. Besides the Thunder, there's really no clear-cut number 2 team in the West right now.
yeah,
Anthony Davis has played better when he was at the 4. You go get Walker Kessler, like you said, great defensive presence, offensive rebounding machine in general, good lob threat, and that's just another weapon for LeBron and AD.
yeah,
Even an old guy like Jonas Valanciunas, the way he's playing and the way he's been playing all year, and the presence that he is in the paint, is still better than a Jackson Hayes, a Christian Wood who hasn't even played yet. Stuff like that. I do think the Lakers need to make a move if they want to at least have a chance to win a championship there. I don't know if it's going to happen.
yeah,
And then Zach LaVine, I think it's time for Zach LaVine to go to a new team. Obviously,
yeah,
I feel like he could fit in, probably, I wouldn't say with the Bucks, but maybe a team like the Suns. Suns are, a team that likes to play fast paced. Zach LaVine's one of the greatest at playing at a faster pace.
Mm-hmm.
Still an elite scorer, great player in general. I think he's having a career year right now, and I think the Bulls should, try to get him and get back as much as they can for him while his value is so high right now.
Yeah.
As you know, I feel like, or honestly, and I feel like the Lakers have dropped the ball year after year. They could have been got Zach LaVine. They could have got DeMar DeRozan. Just this and that. And I just want to say, it's not a trade related, but Russell Westbrook is kind of having a little resurgence year. I need y'all to stop hating on my dog. That was my favorite player in the league for I don't know how many years before Anthony Edwards came into the league. He wasn't the problem on the Lakers. He wasn't the problem on the Clippers. As you can see, he's running in well with Jokic. I know I'm ranting on and on. I don't care if you say I'm meat riding or not, bruh. That man's an MVP. That man deserves his respect. I'm sick of motherfuckers disrespecting him. I seen it the other day. But yeah.
Real quick about the Lakers, real quick. I want to say this before we get up out of here. I don't know why they don't try to bring in Zach LaVine. They got a decent backcourt already. I'm going slow as hell, but they got a decent backcourt already. But I think he'll be another offensive weapon for that team. I do want them to go get Kessler and somebody like Clint Capella. I think will be a good piece to slide in there. But pause. But at the end of the day, the Lakers pick a direction at this point. You got a 40-year-old, AD's no spring chicken. He's 31 years old, and we know AD's injury history. Knock on wood that that's not a big thing going forward in the future. But at the end of the day, I think you need to go get somebody, or you need to try to go get AJ DeBosta. I think that's his name in 2 years. At this point, pick a direction. You're gonna get what you can get for LeBron and AD, which I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't think they do that. I think they're going to stay on that treadmill of, I hate to say it, but mediocrity at this point, right there in the middle. So either we're going to get ran over by the Joker in the playoffs, or we going to be one of the top teams in the draft. But, that's all I really want to say about it.
And another thing, once LeBron's gone, I guarantee you if the Lakers stay with the mediocrity, Anthony Davis is going to win out. So then you have that as well that you have to think about. So.
This was his most vocal, like, in my opinion, he's been with pressure in the front office, which I respect, because we've hearing all the stuff about LeBron saying, like, basically what he was saying in Cleveland. He been saying shit like, we top heavy as shit. You know what I mean? We can't play without error every night. Basically that's a cold way of saying we got to play to the highest of our potential because we don't have the talent to keep up the horses with the rest of the teams, which honestly I agree with. So at the end of the day, we're going to see what the Lakers do. Let us know y'all thoughts on what y'all think about these latest NBA trade rumors. I know I was already in a deep discussion with a guy about this Anthony Davis and Lakers situation. Let us know about how y'all feel about Jimmy. Is it Jimmy being Jimmy, or, is the Heat not doing right by their superstar? And it's been a good one.